So a little bit of technical difficulty, so I had to end my first live stream and then start this one, but luckily it hadn't really like started yet. All right, so I will just wait for people to come in as I kind of set up in here. Just making sure everybody can simmer. So when people do show up, I want to show off some stones I got yesterday at Balboa Park at like their little geology center, and I want to show off some decks that I got this week, even though I was kind of on a no deck buying type place. There were just a couple of decks where like there weren't many left, or they were indie decks, and I'm like, well, I might as well get them now, and you know, and then I shall work with them a little bit later. Let's see, and then yeah, and then we'll see whatever else like maybe pops up. Oh, and then I do want to show off like a few things that I got in my Black Friday, I guess, deals. Or Cyber Monday. Yeah, I waited till Cyber Monday. Oh, what up, Green Owl? Good morning. So yeah. Oh, New Age Lunatic, what up? Just making sure I don't knock over my tea here. Of course, I got my tea, my green tea. And a water bottle just in case it's a marathon session. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, well, let's see. First off, there was, I'm usually not like a huge like Black Friday, Cyber Monday type person. Like you know, not where I'm like, ooh, let's see what's there, and then, you know, maybe I'll buy it. But no, it's like I have things in mind that I want to get as gifts for people for Christmas. And it's like, if that particular item happens to be on sale during like Black Friday or whatever Cyber Monday, then I'm like, great, I get to save some cash and get an awesome gift. So while I was, you know, I was able to get a few gifts, which was awesome. You know, I checked like my auntie off the list and a few of my cousins, and some of the stuff was like crafty stuff so that I could make something for people's gifts, because as you guys know, I'm like kind of a crafty person. But I got, let me just go off screen here just for a moment. 3 of these crates from Joann's Fabrics. So yeah, these are some pretty big crates, and you know, I had measured them out and made sure that they'd be great for putting some of my herby stuff in here. So I finally want to, you know, because all my herbs and things are just kind of in a pile, and some of them are in jars and some of them are in Ziploc bags. I mean, they're not really in direct sun. I mean, everything in here is tinted, so you know, it's bright, but it's not, doesn't get warm in here, and there isn't any like UV stuff coming in. But I do want to put them in crates, and I do want to put them in my closet where it is a little bit darker. But I'm thinking, since these crates are so big, that maybe I'll be able to fit a lot of them in maybe a crate and a half, and then that leaves me one more crate, maybe for some more of my magical items, or I can even put tarot decks in there, and then they would be more accessible. Ideas. So let me put this over there. Ugh. And I've kind of like, you know, stacked the 3, and my little Puma likes hanging out in there. Oh, nail in a shelf in your crates. I have seen that before, where people have like the, yeah, plastic storage now. But yeah, like where people like nail the crates and like kind of do it in a cool like pattern. What up, Sammy? You know, where yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And then you can like put stuff on top of the grate, so it's like a shelf in a shelf. So that would be really cool. I definitely have some ideas for this room, because although we've been in our house now like 4 years, this particular room looks like we just moved in. It's mostly my boyfriend's stuff. Anyway, I mean, like, this is pretty much set up the way I like it. You know, I have my altar space. I'm not, I mean, I love bookcases, but yeah, I don't know if you guys, well, obviously, a lot of you guys are like book nerds like myself, but there is a website called, I think it's called bookporn.org. And it's like just pictures of like libraries and the way people store their books. And it's just like, I don't know, it literally is book porn. So what I wanted to do, an idea that I saw, is to put shelves all along towards the top of the ceiling. Yes, book porn dot, it's either .com or .org. You'll find it, but it's literally old like libraries and like crazy ways people have displayed their books. It's such a great place for ideas, and it's I wish I lived in a lot of those pictures. But I want to put a shelf, like I mean, it would be a lot of shelves connected, but just so that it rings the top of the room, and then the books would be ringing the top of the room. So there wouldn't be like a bookcase where I'm pointing to my bookcase right now. There wouldn't be a bookcase of books, or the books wouldn't be on the floor. But they'd be up high, and I think that's so cool. And then maybe even put one of those cool like wooden ladders. I mean, I probably don't need it because I'm tall enough, but it's a cool idea. You know, and eventually I want to repaint this room. I'm probably going to save my trying out painting skills for the other room. Yeah, well, yeah. I got some height from my daddy. You know, my goal was always to be 6 feet tall, and I was so depressed that I was 5'8", because I felt like such a shorty in my family, because there are so many, well, they're either people are really tall in my family, or they're really miniature. So like either people are like 5'3", 5'2", or me being the shortest at 5'8", all the girls are like, I think our tallest girl, my cousin, she's like 20. Yeah, my cousin's 20 now, but she's 6'1", and I'm just like, why did I get to be the shorty? Even my grandmothers were taller than me. Like, that's not fair. And of course, I know everybody that's under 5'8" has no sympathy for me, but that's okay. I will play my own violin for myself. But yeah, so I definitely want to have a ring of books. That's been my dream for this room. I want to eventually get my when you wear 3-inch heels, nice. By the way, I love wearing platforms. Like, I am a girl that loves tall shoes, so yeah, I'm one of those people. My boyfriend keeps telling me, he says, no, you're really 5'7". I'm like, I'm not 5'7". I went to the doctors. Last time I went to the doctors in college, I had no shoes on, and they took an accurate measure. I was 5'8". I said, because when I graduated high school, I was 5'7" and like 3/4, and I finally grew that last 1/4 inch while I was in college. 5'8" on the dot. I don't care what he says. And he's like, well, he goes, well, because my boyfriend's like 5'9", and he says, I'm literally 2 inches taller than you. And I'm like, well, you have like an inch of hair on top of your head, so that's like, no, that doesn't count. But anyway, I would like to also, for this room, take all of his crap, and because right now it's in boxes, because whatever, he likes to live like he's homeless. 5'7" sounds like fighting words. Yes. But I have seen, you know, like I love Pinterest for all this stuff, but where it's like a long like art space or desk space, so there'd be like a lot of table room, and then you would have all these like cabinets, you know, and it would line the wall, and he could set up his computer. In fact, we could put both of our computers, I guess. And you know, it is, I mean, it's not a it's an average size bedroom, but you know, I think that if we moved everything up off the floor, like all the books up, you know, all this stuff into cabinets and everything, that would really, you know, free up a lot of this stuff. And of course I would still have well, once I get a brand new sewing machine, my sewing machine would go in the corner, and I'd have all my craft stuff. But you know, I want to have shelves, and I want to have, you know, cabinets where I could put stuff away, so it's not, you know, out. Sorry, I don't know, maybe that's just the Filipino in me, where I just like everything just so neat and put away. I want to be able to come into a room and it's just zen, you know. But there's so much, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with our house, but there's just so much that we want to do with it. Yes, I want it to feel yummy. um, and we were really lucky when we got our house because everything about it was sound, and we got it for a really good price. And I don't know if you guys live outside of California, the price might seem really high to you guys, but we got a really good like California price. Well, yeah, this is definitely draped over an actual shelf. So there's like my tarot decks down here, plus I have my office supplies on the top shelf here. So I mean that covers that, and that's fine. But yeah, we've wanted to do, I mean, we are doing, you know, stuff with our house. Like we just put in like can lights, and we're putting in can lights in the in the kitchen right now, and then we want to put can lights in the living room because it's a little dark right now. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful home. There was no major repairs. I know we're on our last, you know how they can only put so many layers of roofing on? We are on our last layer of roofing, so when it comes time for roofing, it's like, you know, so that's gonna have to be done. But right now it's fine. But it's just like aesthetically fixing the home. You know, the front yard's okay, the backyard's kind of garbage. Too much dusting. There's already a lot of dusting. So yeah, you know, I eventually want like a Zen garden in the back. You know, I want, yeah, there's like, I don't know if you guys have thought of that, but like I wanted to do, like in my ultimate visual for my home is the backyard would be like totally zen. You know, I'd have elements of like the Philippines in there and Japan, and you know, speaking to some of my cultures, and like, and I want to eventually like invite people to my home to like, maybe they would come here and they come to my backyard. Yeah, it just feels like there's so much you have to do with a home. But I want to invite people to my home. Like maybe we can go to my backyard and we could do like readings that way, or you know, I want to do like energy healings, or you know, if it was, because it's a good sized backyard, you know, like I don't know, like mini retreats, or I want to do that kind of stuff eventually in the future, once my home is beautiful enough to actually invite people to my backyard. Right now it's a no-go. Like I don't even do any of my filming back there right now, because since the kitchen and everything's being worked on, there's a lot of like stuff that's back there, like, you know, from the mudding and everything that's going on. So it's a little bit of a disaster in the backyard. So you guys don't need to see that. We'll just pretend it looks as nice and neat as it does behind me right now. So anyway, oh, as I look down, I wanted to mention, I went down into Old Town San Diego one day, and I was just kind of roaming around. You know, I like to go down there sometimes by myself, and I'll go check in on the owner down at South American Imports, and he's really cool. You know, maybe see if I see a couple of stones that I might like, and so I picked up a couple of things. And then there's always the Mexican ladies that are out there making fresh tortillas, and so you know, you just ask them for dos tortillas, and it's just $1 for like 2 buttered tortillas with you know, and they're like, you know, it's made of, you know, manteca and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then you ask for mucho mantequilla, which is like a lot of butter. But it's only $1, and you get 2 piping hot fresh tortillas. They're like slapping around the tortillas, making them fresh, and then, you know, and I'll eat those. I'll walk around. I'll usually then go over to the Old Town Cemetery, pay my respects to the very first San Diegans, and then I realized, because there's a church over there too, and I usually always just pass by the church, but it said there was a Father Sarah gift shop, and Father Sarah is one of the first friars here in Wally on a leash. Wally does go out on a leash, yes, when we go out for our walkies. But right now he's inside. He's on our bed right now. Yeah, like old cemeteries are awesome. I was that was so cool when I got to go, because we go up to Julian once in a while, and we never knew that there was like, oh, obviously they have a cemetery, but we didn't know where it was, and we like ventured out further than we normally do, and we got to like go through that, and that was just like, I don't know, like somebody took a picture of it, that'd be like the perfect cemetery. It was so cool and so old. But yeah, so I went into the Father Sarah gift shop, who, you know, being one of our first friars here in San Diego, Wanapiro Sarah, and or Junipero, I should say, Junipero Sarah. And there was a man that was working at the shop. Oh, I know, like really old headstones, especially when they're like early 1800s getting into late 1700s. I was like, whoa. Old town San Diego is not that old though, but there are some 1800s headstones, which is pretty cool. I ended up having like an hour-long conversation with the man that was working at the shop, because I don't know how it came to, he was like, asked me what I did for a living, and I said I'm a teacher and I'm a coach, and he says, oh, I used to be a coach. And so we started talking track and field, like off the heezy, and yeah, like I just went like sports nerd like crazy with this person. I found out he's an official, and he was probably an official when I was in high school, and he was officiating some of my track beats, so that was like kind of cool. And then I asked him why he doesn't coach anymore, and he said because he had gotten cancer a few years back, but he's okay now. Oh, 1806. Whoa, that's pretty old. And he says, but he's cancer free. And I encouraged him to, you know, because he seemed like he was still full of like, you know, I'm pretty sure this guy was pretty old, but he looked like he was only in his early 60s, but I'm guessing this guy was in his 80s. So he was like looking really good for his age. And I was like, you are full of like vigor. Like you need to go out there and start coaching again, because it seemed like you really missed it. So I was like urging him to go out and, you know, do his passion again. And then I picked up, while I was there, I figured while I'm chatting the guys, oh, hey, Jess. While I'm chatting the guy's ear off, I'm like, I might as well buy something from the gift shop. I've always wanted a St. Christopher. So I got a St. Christopher. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I never really like got into Catholicism. And, you know, you know, but I've always felt like I wanted a Saint Christopher, you know, like I'm not like I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Like I'm not like into the religion, but I do like aspects of certain energies in that religion. Like I like sometimes to work with Jesus while I'm working with like Ganesha and Shiva and Santa Muerte, like I don't know, all my homies. I just kind of like mix them all together. And I don't know, I just like really felt like I needed a St. Christopher. Yeah, and that guy, he was really cool, and I felt like it was so awesome. It was like I was meant to walk into that shop, and I was meant to like hang out with this guy, you know. And normally I'm not one to go like walk into a church really, or let alone like a church gift shop. I mean, unless I'm in Italy, because those freaking churches are badass. So I was definitely in those churches when I was in Italy, but yeah, so there was something really special about that old man, and it was like, it was nice to hear his story. I just loved hearing him talk, and I just felt like the one thing I had to tell him was like, you need to go back and coach. You need to go back out there, and you know, you look like you miss it, and you know, and so I told him, you know, hopefully I see you out there. You know, I said, because you know, I'll be taking kids to CIF this year. Which is like a big meet before kids go off to the state championships. And I'm like, so I'll see you out there, you know. And he was like, okay, you know, he was like kind of thinking about it, and he was like, well, you know, it was great talking to you. And I was like, hey, I talked your ear off, I might as well buy something. So yeah, that was really cool. And for some reason it felt like it was more than just like jabbing somebody's, ear off. So it was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That was kind of interesting. I don't really know how to explain that. So yesterday and today is December nights in Balboa Park. So if you're in San Diego, it is a huge thing that goes on in San Diego. It's where, okay, we have these things called the houses. They're all the international houses. So there's like the House of Portugal, the House of the Czech Republic, the House of the Congo, the House of, the House of all these houses. And during December nights, they put out their specialty foods. And it's also when all the museums are open. And Balboa Park's really cool because Balboa Park was built for the World's Fair. I believe it was like the 1902 World's Fair. And so it's done in like old Spanish style. So it looks older than it is. I mean, it looks like it's meant to be from like the 15 or 1600s Spain. But it was for the 1902 fair. And so everything's really well crafted. Like it's Balboa Park is freaking gorgeous. Beautiful detail, in the buildings everywhere. And so the museums are in these buildings, and so the museums are open to the public for free during these 2 days. And so everybody goes down there. And of course, there's the carny stuff that's down there, like rides and stuff for the kids, and games, and and other like food stuff. And there's like little crafty tents and stuff that people have made, and and they're selling their wares there. But it's just and all the Christmas lights are up, and it's just a cool like day for like San Diegans. Yes, browsing arts, lots of food. And yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. So I don't know if you guys ever have a chance, when you're ever down in San Diego at the beginning of December nights is really, really fun. Been to the Roman baths. Wow. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys are ever in San Diego, like, I will be your tour guide. I will show you around to the most awesome spots. San Diego is really pretty. I think it's I mean, it's kind of becoming, I don't know if you guys have been to Los Angeles. Like, Los Angeles is really like touristy. It's crowded. It's full. It's like full of people. It's like houses are on top of each other. And although yes, there are parts of San Diego that are like that, it's not to that degree yet, where it's like the last of the cities to become, super touristy-ized, if that's a word, where I mean, we have definitely a big population coming in. Yeah, definitely come on over. But more people are coming in. Yes, more homes are being built, but we still have parts of San Diego where it's really rural, where people have horses and farms, and then we still have Julian, where you can go up north in San Diego and there's snow. In the same day, which I have done it, I've gone to the snow and then I've gone to the beach in the same day. Ooh, St. Augustine. Nice. But yeah, you could do all that in a day. You could go to the museums, you could go to the beach, you could go up to the snow, you can go into the mountains, you can go into the desert, and you're still in San Diego. And so it's very eclectic. Of course we have our like well-to-do parts of San Diego where it's very hoity-toity. We have our Rancho Santa Fe, which is like the rich of the rich, and then we have La Jolla, which is also rich. And then we have all the beaches, and then we have, today I forgot to tell you guys, today is the OB parade. Okay, that's for Ocean Beach Parade. OB's slogan is keep OB weird. It's literally a beach town full of real hippies, like not people like hipsters like trying to be hippies. No, these are real hippies. These are hippies that went to freaking Woodstock. Like, these are real hippies, real like some people, you still hear them talking about Nam and the Vietnam War, and and some of them are old veterans and things like that. And they just kind of, I mean, they don't, it's kind of like funky and smells like pot like 24/7, but that's all they do. Like, they don't cause trouble. It's just a really laid back beach town. They all kind of look homeless, but they're cool with that. They just live out of, some of them live out of their Winnebagos or whatever, or their VW buses that haven't moved probably since 1979. And you know, I'm pretty sure there probably are some naked people in that parade. But my boyfriend and I stumbled on their parade for the first time a couple of years ago, because usually we go down there for the OB tree lighting, where it's put on by the people of that town. Like, everything that's put on is put on by the people of that town. There isn't like San Diego City Council coming down and like doing stuff for OB. Like, it's genuinely just the residents there. And so the residents go and get this ginormous pine tree, which I don't know, is like 30 feet tall. Yeah, I mean, they're so cool. And they kind of throw the decorations up at the tree because a lot of their ladders don't make it. And again, these are just the residents, so their tree is always crooked. And I'll definitely take pictures today, so I could put some of those pictures up for you guys on Instagram. Although I'm pretty sure on my other Instagram, the one that's not my woo-woo Instagram, my photography Instagram, I do have pictures of OB, because it's weird, but it's cool, you know? Their tree's a little lopsided. There's mostly just decorations on one side, and the decorations stop at a certain point where they couldn't throw the decorations up high enough. So it's like, you know, it's kind of cool. And then we realized there was a parade going on, and we were like, oh my god, like OB has a parade. And it's usually just one like locals know about. So if you try to Google this, where you're like, when is the OB parade, it's really not, you just kind of have to know. You have to know somebody, or you would have stumbled on it, which we did a couple of years ago. And so imagine dude, that is the shit. Imagine the original hippies from Woodstock, who in their brains never left Woodstock, and you Christmasize it. That is the OB parade. Like, that literally is the OB parade. There was like a tow truck that was all like Christmased out, and you had these guys that look like freaking Cheech and Chong, if you guys know who they are, hanging out of the tow truck. But on the flatbed tow truck, there's a VW bus that obviously doesn't run. It's got the flower power all over it, like the painted, you know, it's literally from the freaking 60s or the 70s, you know, and it's smoked out, like there's smoke billowing out, and you can hear them playing like Pink Floyd coming out of the VW bus. And you got these hippies that are just like crooked Santa hats, they're like, hey, Merry Christmas, you know. And then you have like the half-naked Santa with the flower power on his chest, and you know, and he's like, you know, and so they're all like, they're stoned to the gills, drunk, but they're not causing any trouble, you know. I mean, there's a lot of police that line the street just in case, but yeah, it's just the locals, you know, the residents of OB, and you know, and everybody comes out and they'll like high five people as they're going by, and it's just people and they're like freaking hippie mobiles, you know, all these like, you know, VW bugs, the VW buses, Winnebagos going by with like Christmas tinsel hanging off of them. Everybody's playing like Black Sabbath and like Pink Floyd, and you know, just Rolling Stones, you know. You know, it's pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, if you guys ever, yeah, it's always the first Saturday is when they do it now. Dude, yeah, they're at they wanted to fix up OB. San Diego wanted to fix up OB because San Diego kind of saw OB as like an eyesore, because it was like, you know, we have all these tourists coming in. Tourists don't want to see like dirty hippies. You know, we want to clean up their town, and so what they wanted to bring in was like breweries and make it more like upscale hipster, you know, type stuff, you know, freaking fedoras and and like OB fought it, you know, and so they created stickers. There were like the residents were protesting like keep OB weird, keep OB weird, and they were like, you know, we like who we are, we like, you know, they're like, we're not causing any trouble, like we just want to, like, you know, be retired and smoke pot all day. Like that's just what we want to do, and that's just what our beach town has always been. You know, and it's not dirty either. It's not like, you know, because they don't want to keep their town dirty, so they pick up their garbage and stuff like that. You'll have the random guy, you know, playing his guitar in the corner. Yeah, you know, and so they won. You know, I mean, there's a couple of new businesses in there, but I don't think they do very well. You know, so yeah, and you know, they got their smoke shops, they got their they have like witchy shops, you know, with dragons and incense and stuff. They have a hostel there. They have Hodads. Oh, if you guys are in San Diego and you go to Ocean Beach, go to Hodads. Hodads is like, it's a local eatery, and usually there's a line out the door, but they have the best burgers. The hippies are making your food. It is so good. And their milkshakes, oh my god. They literally put a wedge of ice cream like that big on the side of your like milkshake glass. It's so awesome. Yeah, if you guys want the foodie tour of San Diego, I will give you guys the foodie tour. See, that's why I have to work out so much, is because I am a foodie. Yeah, it's like, oh, like, you know, we don't want our tourists to see that, but it's like, that's what makes San Diego, is that we have so many different parts of San Diego that's just so freaking awesome. Like, you want to go to the ritzy area, we got ritzy areas. You want to go out and, you know, go to the snow and see what it looked like in 1892, go to Julian, you know, but maybe in the same day you want to go hang out at the beach, we got beaches. Our beaches are gorgeous. You know, you want to, I don't know, it's just, you know, you want to go see what the World's Fair looked like in 1902, go to Balboa Park. You know, we have, of course, you know, our attractions. We have SeaWorld and all that stuff. But, you know, there are parts that's not, like, touristy, it's just really cool. There's a place in the hood that's a Salvadorian restaurant, and I don't know if you guys have ever had Salvadorian food, but they have, like, pupusas, which is, like, it's, like, I don't know, like a filled tortilla, and I love pupuso con loroco, and I'm not even sure what loroco is, but loroco is really good, and it's got cheese in it, and they have something called casamiento, and casamiento is something that's usually served at weddings, but it's taking rice and black beans and putting it together, and I don't know what else they add to it, but it's like crack, and basically it's supposed to be like the marriage of two things, and hence you have it at Salvadorian weddings. But unless you go to one in the hood, it's like they're not any good. You need to go to the hoodie ones, and you need to get the horrible service, and I really don't care, because the food's so good, and you just end up spending your time like chatting away, and every now and then, maybe like 45 minutes later, your waiter comes back and he's like, so you want anything else to eat? And we're like, yeah, we're still waiting on our empanadas. Okay. Like, that's the service, but that's the service I want, you know? Like, we have so many really awesome places here in San Diego. Like, you guys just let me know when you're gonna be in town. I will take you around. Dude, I love, there is this particular waiter at the Salvadorian restaurant. He wears like this really flashy like glittery polyester t-shirt, or like button-up dress shirt that looks like something out of Night at the Roxbury circa 1999. Like, and he kind of saunters over to your table, and you're like, hi. He's like, do you want something to drink? And you're like, oh yeah, like I'll have a water. You know, my boyfriend usually get an iced tea. 20 minutes later, you know, our drinks show up, and then he'll start to walk away. We're like, oh, we're ready to order now. He'll turn back around. He doesn't even write any of this down. It's just like he saunters over. It's like just some dude. He's like, what do you want to eat? And we're like, oh, you know, we'll get the casamiento, we get the pupuso con queso, pupuso con loroco, we will take dos empanadas, and we'll take, and then there's one like dessert empanada where it tastes like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a fried banana, but the banana inside has turned to custard. It is so freaking good. And the outside is like cinnamon and sugar. Like, I just realized this whole thing has been about food. I should have retitled this. Food to make everybody hungry. Live chat. Hashtag food goals. Anyway, so we'll order our food and he'll be like, is that it? You're like, yeah, okay. And then he'll just saunter over. Like an hour later, your food comes out, but like your empanadas haven't showed up. And we wait another 45 minutes, and we're the only ones left in the restaurant, and like the staff is just staring at us and we're staring at them. And then finally the guy in the flashy shirt comes sauntering over. He goes, did you want anything else? And we're like, yeah, our empanadas. Okay. You know, he'll go back and he'll go get the empanadas, and then we're like eating them, and it's like they're waiting on us, and we're like, well, dude, but you know the food's so good, like you just don't even care, like it's that good, like you're like, sure, I'll be here for 3 hours, you know. It's all good. Oh, and we just discovered a new place in the hood. Again, if you guys are in San Diego, okay, within the 3-foot, maybe 5-foot radius around this place, you're safe because everybody's so stoked about the food. Outside that 3 to 5 foot radius, you might get shanked. But you're safe in the restaurant, and it's delicious, and it's called Canada Steak Burger. But they sell like Greek food and hamburgers and like all this other stuff. And so we went there for the first time like a few Saturdays ago, and there's only like 3 tables in there. Line out the door, there's only like 4 spots of parking, and so, you know, everybody's like circling the neighborhood just trying to get those 4 spots, right? And so we finally get a spot because, you know, there was like some tweaker couple that was like leaving, and we're waiting for our food, and this guy shows up, and it's like all different types of people are in there. Dude, the burgers were really good. And I got, gosh, what did I get when I was there? I got fish and chips when I was there. Best steak fries ever. And the only other fish and chips that I've had that was better was at Mitch's Seafood, which is in Point Loma, which is where our Portuguese community is, where coincidentally my boyfriend's Portuguese. I know he looks like a white guy, but he's Portuguese, and that's where his mother and, you know, his family's from. Getting hangry. Unfortunately, I didn't even bring snacks for myself, so I'm making my own self hangry. But Mitch's Seafood, like it's whatever like the Portuguese fishermen in that town, part of San Diego, like what they caught that day is what they sell at the restaurant. And so they literally have the best fish and chips. And like, I think I cried a little, like if you know, yeah, like the single tear where you're like, if you guys have seen Ratatouille, where like the food critic goes in and he has some ratatouille and it reminds him of his childhood and it takes him back and he just starts crying. He remembers his mama. Like, that's me when I had that fish and chips. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best fish and chips ever. I'm like having a breakdown over these fish and chips. But coming in a really close second place is Canada Steak Burger on that fish and chips. But it seems like whatever they make was really good. And like behind the counter, like the girl that's taking your order looks like she can freaking stab you in the neck, but she's like this tatted up like chola girl, you know. Chola is like basically a gangster girl here in, you know. You know, and it's like, what do you want to eat? you know, and you're like, oh, I want this and this. She's like, hey, and she's like yelling to the Mexicans in the back, and they're like, but everybody's like really happy though, you know. And there was this guy that was sitting in there, and he was waiting, and he was like, what'd you guys get? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, he goes like, I always wait for the night that I can come over to Canada Steak Burger. He's like, I can always chulip up baggy. Yes, yes. And so like there, you know, he was like I could smell this like coming down the street. And so like the locals in that area, they can smell the food down the street, and so they all just come in, and they're like literally like rocking in their seats. They're like, our food's almost up, our food's almost up, I've been waiting all night for this food, you know. And they couldn't stop talking, and they were all just so giddy and happy. Like they were like really giddy and happy. Like it was like, okay, yeah, bro, you know. And we hadn't gotten our food yet, so we didn't know what it tasted like. And then we got our food, and I needed to go get napkins, but I was like waiting for the girl getting her order so I can like, you know, whatever, so I can get some napkins, because again, I'm like not trying to get shot or anything, not that they would probably in that place, because everybody's like pretty stoked and happy, but yeah, so my boyfriend just starts diving into his burger, you know. He's you know, and the guy behind me who's like, you know, leg shaking, just like furiously waiting for his food. Dude, there is something in our water for sure. Hopefully it's not Otay water. If you're from San Diego, you would get that joke. Otay water is the water that kind of comes in from Mexico. Like that'll make you sick. Like, don't drink that water. Don't drink the water in Mexico. But yeah, so Canada Steak Burger, that's definitely our new place. We saw that there's a second location that just opened up in my old stomping grounds, which is in Chula Vista. Chula Vista is just another part of San Diego. And we should have known when there wasn't a line out the door. There was like literally one other person eating. It was kind of in a cleaned up part of town. It was really nice, put together restaurant. The girl was really on the ball that was taking our order, like not a tat in sight. You know, no neck tattoos. I'm like, what kind of place is this? You know? And so I go to eat my food, and yeah, we're gonna be going back to the hood. So I will risk getting freaking stabbed in the ribs to have some delicious food. Sometimes food is just worth it, you know? So yeah, okay. That was my food rant. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yes, Stone. So oh yeah, I was talking about December nights. That's I think where I originally started before I went off on a food rant. So December nights, I've never been into the mini Portuguese village in Balboa Park. I mean, I've been around Balboa Park, but I don't know, I guess for whatever reason I haven't been there during December nights. So we went through there, and it was kind of cool. There was this guy, you know, playing the Spanish guitar, and you know, it really looked like, I don't know, I've never been to Portugal, but I guess if I did, my boyfriend said it kind of looked like Portugal. You know, it had like the cool like cobblestone, and it literally looks like you're in the little like Portuguese town. There's like the little string lights, you know, going above your heads. People are just kind of milling about. Some people are having some food. There was some Niederfrank's ice cream there, but we didn't, I don't know. I've had Niederfrank's. Niederfrank's is also in the hood in National City. We lovingly call National City Nasty City. But there's a Niederfrank's ice cream, which was originally started by Mr. Niederfrank back in the 50s. And he makes ice cream the old way. And although they said when the machines break down, they literally have to build the parts. And it's really expensive for their machines, the way they make their ice cream in like the old late 40s, early 50s method. And they said, even though like more efficient methods have come up, there is a taste difference. People kind of taste the difference with their ice cream. And so I didn't know that, like, I was saying something about Niederfrank's ice cream, and one of my friends that I went to school with had texted me, and she's like, did you know my mom bought Niederfrank's? And I was like, your mother bought Niederfranks? When did this happen? And she was like, dude, she bought it when we were in high school, like 1998. She bought Niederfranks with her, well, girlfriend at the time. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah. She's all, just tell my mom, like, she saw my mom will recognize you. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I need to go to Niederfranks, say hi to my friend's mother. And it's been a while since I've been to Niederfranks, but I used to go when I was in high school quite a bit because it's really the best ice cream ever. It's not like Cold Stone. That's different. This is like old school, and they keep their old school flavors. So although they could like do Baskin Robbins type flavors, like they keep it the original flavors and the original type of sorbets that they make too. So it's done in the old late 40s, early 50s. If it wasn't created in the late 40s, early 50s, they don't make it. They do take suggestions. So if you want something special for like a party that you're having, like they will make something special for you, but they don't really have it in their shop, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so there was a Niederfranks little booth. My boyfriend hasn't had Niederfranks, and I was like, do you want to try some Niederfranks? And he was like, well, it's probably best just to go into the actual location. He says, because that ice cream had to travel here. So he says, so I probably just want it from the real location. So I was like, okay, maybe we'll go this weekend. But yeah, the Portuguese Village was really cool. And there was the San Diego Geology Society is located in there, and I had no idea. So you have all these like cool like geology students and like old geology people in there, and you could walk through, watch them as they're polishing you know, like our you know, like stones like this, how they make them round. So I'm watching as they're like polishing these things, and it was cool to see, you know, people polishing up stones and my boyfriend's very interesting. So yeah, and then I'm like looking at the prices of all their stuff because it's stuff that they've collected out and about and mostly from San Diego County. It was so cheap, and I was like, it was cheaper than the gem fair, probably because these people dug up those rocks themselves and polished them themselves. Like it's literally the Geological Society. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to pick up a few things while I was there. I mean, I was kind of picking up Christmas gifts for people, but I mean, it was really cheap. So I was like, I guess I'll get myself a little something. So they had just a box full of like unwanted stones. So it was just $1 each. So I picked up this raw piece of agate for $1. So that's freaking, yeah, it's bubbly and awesome. Almost looks like food, probably because I'm hungry. And then I picked up a couple of tumbled stones, and in the box it was 2 for $1. So I got a piece of apricot agate. Oh, Stephanie, what's up? And I don't know if you guys can see it, but when the light catches it just right, it's almost like an optical illusion in the bands because the bands are so packed together. And I also found out while I was there, like how agate gets its bands. It's at the rate at which the silica cooled is what creates the bands in agate. So I thought that was kind of cool, and those bands are really close together and pretty neat. And then, so yeah, so this was 50 cents and this was 50 cents, so 2 for $1. This is a beautiful tiger eye, so I was able to pick that up. Yes, you made it in time for the crystals, Stephanie. And then they said, this is man-made, but I still think it's cool, and for whatever reason, like the energy was awesome. But I got this for $15. And it's a piece of silicon metal. So silicon, which is the second most, I think what they say, second most abundant thing on Earth, next to oxygen being number 1, and then like within like the Earth's crust, it'd be oxygen, and then it's silicon, or silica, and then there's like types of silicon and silicon and, you know, and things like that. And then I think they said that silica or silicon or silicon is the seventh most abundant mineral in the universe, which is kind of cool. And so, although they said in this form they have taken silica and and pressurized it and everything to turn it into this metal, and it's actually really light. It's what they use to make our microchips. So like computer microchips, it's what's in your cell phones. So it's a really good conductor. Yeah, and just, I don't know, like feeling it feels so like space agey and interesting. But right after I got this, I was like thinking about, oh, I wonder if I'll like, get some more business, on my Etsy shop, so that, because I love doing readings for people. And like they were rolling in like one right after another. I was like, what the deuce? I mean, so yeah, I'm gonna be busy this weekend doing readings, which is awesome. But I was like, okay, so I slept with this on my nightstand. So yeah, it's just got this cool bluish silvery metallic-iness. So yeah, this was $15. I'm probably definitely for sure at some point whenever I'm in Balboa Park, I'm going to be visiting the Geological Society from now on to see kind of what they have. I did see some quartz that they unearthed from San Diego, but I don't know why San Diego quartz just isn't as pretty as quartz from everywhere else, or everywhere else has that beautiful, clear, awesome quartziness. Our quartz just looks dirty. So I was like, I think I have enough quartz. I don't need San Diego quartz. I mean, I have quartz in my backyard. There's literally, I live on a quartz hill. Quartz and granite is what I live on. And clay, quartz, and granite, which is why you can't really dig into our ground. It's like tink, tink. When we went to bury our old cat, rest his little soul, my boyfriend and his best friend broke 2 pickaxes trying to dig that hole, and they broke a shovel. So they ended up having to borrow a jackhammer so they could go down 3 feet and, bury our little Presley. But yeah, like our hill is just, it's solid rock. And since I'm on such a steep hill, I'm on what's called Dictionary Hill, you have to literally put your car in first gear, and some cars can't make it up our hill, so they just leave their cars at the bottom of the hill. Like they literally can't make it up our hill. Our hill's really steep. Some of the steepest parts of San Francisco, I would say, are very close to what our hill is like. So I'm always amazed when people can like run up our hill, but they have like these massive calves and like big legs, and I'm like, yeah. But usually you'll see people like walking their dogs and stuff trying to walk up our hill. But yeah, so since our house, all the houses, are at an angle, and you want to keep the houses flat, they've created basements. So usually basements is unheard of here in San Diego, unless you live in the Midwest or something like that, or back east or whatever. But yeah, our crawl spaces, I literally have 7 feet of headroom underneath our house. So that's where like my surfboards and my Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations and like gift wrapping stuff like is all underneath the house. And eventually one day we want to like fix it up, but the floor is just dirt, and then we have our why can't I think of it? The slab that the house is built on is right underneath. So it's just these giant boulders kind of underneath the house that we've kind of put stuff on top of, like laid down like tarp, and then we've put our stuff down. But you probably need dynamite to level it out one day. But yeah, that's a project for another day and a lot of money later. So so yeah, so I have my stones, and then oh, and then I got a couple of decks this week. So like I said, even though I was like on a, like I haven't been drawn to want to buy more decks lately. I'm more drawn to like, I want to buy other people gifts, which I love buying people gifts regardless if it was Christmas or not. But you know, I'm in the gift buying mode, and so like buying gifts or buying supplies to make gifts, because I like making, you know, I like making jewelry, and I like making, I'm definitely gonna be making my sprays. Every Christmas I always make my my lip salves and like body salves and like lotion and stuff like that. And so I usually just buy like the little like chapstick containers off of Amazon, where you can get like a whole bag for like $5, like 50 of them, which is kind of cool. So I like making those, and I've been saving up all my old lipsticks. You know, when you can't use the lipstick anymore because the lipstick's like too far down the tube. That's where I get my color from, like my coloring when I'm making my chapsticks for other people, is I scoop out that part that, you know, couldn't be reached for my own lips, and then I put that in my mix with, I have raw shea butter, I have my coconut oil, I'll usually put in a good chunk of beeswax for solidification, and then some Vaseline for just so it's not so stiff, so you're not like trying to grind it onto your lips, and then kind of what other oils and stuff I may have around, like I have jojoba oil, and I might put some of that in. But to give it some color, you know, you take your old lipsticks and you just put a little bit in your double boiler, and then I just, you know, use my little, I do it in like a Pyrex measuring cup. And then I put the measuring cup inside the boiling water, so it works like a double boiler, and then I just take the measuring cup and then I pour it through a little funnel into their like little chopsticks, and that's how I make my stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a video with you guys, like show you guys how I make that during Christmas time, because those are really fun. I want to try to make candles this year. I think that'll be really fun, because I do have a big chunk of beeswax laying around, and I think I can do that. But yeah, so, but there were a few indie decks and a few decks that were, like there weren't that many left. So I was like, well, so I went and bought a few decks, not because I was like really like, oh, I have to, like, I want to buy decks, but more like they're decks that I want, and I know if I wait on them, they're not going to be there. Oh, yeah, I have to look up how to do candles, because I haven't made candles before, so I'll be on YouTube searching how to make candles. So yeah, so there's 2 decks that are showing up today, I believe. And one of them has been on my Amazon wish list for a while, but it was like $50, and I'm like, $50 for a deck, like, I don't know. So I just kind of kept it there on my Amazon wish list, and I didn't think anything of it. And then this past Monday, when like there was like the Cyber Monday deals or whatever going on, I was like, the deck had dropped to $15 from $50, and I was like, you know, I could probably get that now. But it's the it's a botanical deck, and I don't think it's meant to be an oracle deck or anything. I don't think that's its true purpose, but it's from the New York Botanical Society, and yeah, and it's not Plant Ally. I'm using my phone right now, so I can't look it up on my phone what it is, but it's like I think it was called Pharmacy Plant Botanicals. Yeah, Pharmacy Plant Botanicals. And it's from the New York Library of Botanicals. So, you know, what, like old pictures, and, you know, it's like the scientific look of flowers, how, I guess, botanists put you know, flowers in books together. So yeah, they've taken those images, put them on aged cards, and then the backings of the cards tell you like what the plant is used for. It tells you like the phylum, the you know, species and stuff like that. So it's like a bunch of information on the plant, which is really cool. So I figured they'd be really neat for like healing, or maybe I could even use them intuitively, you know, because I love like flower cards. So yeah, so I was really happy after looking at that thing for like $50 some, and it's from third party sellers on Amazon. but you could still like get the Amazon Trust where, you know, if something happens, Amazon will reimburse you. But I was like, $50, you know, and I think it's like 50 cards. And I was like, but then when I saw 15, I was like, you know what? So yeah, so that's on its way here today. It was meant to be here on Wednesday, but it accidentally got sent to the wrong location, and now they're resending it here. And then the other deck that's showing up is called Pam's, I believe it's Pam's Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. It's one I saw on Instagram, and I got it from it's called Drive Through Cards, where they it's just a print cards on demand type place. So like if you like a deck of cards and the seller is like an independent seller or independent card deck maker, they just put their cards in there, and then this company will just print them out and send them to you. And so it's a, I believe, a bridge size, so kind of like Lenormand size Rider-Waite-Smith. It's borderless. And it has that aged look to it, which is really cool. So I'll definitely have to show you guys, like make a video on that, but they should arrive with our mail later today, so probably around noontime. So yeah, so those two decks will be arriving today, and then I have one final deck showing up, and that's coming from the UK. It was shipped this week, but if something's coming from the UK, it usually takes about a week and a half to max of 2 weeks to get here. But it's the 80s tarot deck, and I got that off of Etsy. It is a pip deck, but the court cards and the major arcana, done in really simple shape form, are characters from 80s movies. So I thought that was so cool. Like I'm like pointing out different movies. There was like Beetlejuice, there was Better Off Dead, there was like Once Bitten Twice Shy, like all these freaking 80s movies, and I was like, oh, like I need to get the 80s deck. So yeah, so that's coming. But also from that shop, the shop owner also makes things out of polymer clay, and so it was like these like long triangular like 80s printed earrings that are hand painted. So it's like she doesn't sell multiples of the same one, she just sells like I'm selling this pair and then selling this pair. So I'm getting some cool like long like 80s earrings. So yeah, definitely check it out. I believe it's called the 80s tarot deck. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then this week for decks that showed up, I picked up Whispers of Lord Ganesha. I know this one's like mass produced, and like I probably could have waited on this one, but the only reason I got this one is because I have been working with the energy of Ganesha like a lot lately. Like it seems like he's really coming pretty strong, and usually he's been a homie that I call on when things get a little too hairy for me. Not like hairy legs, but but like hairy for me, like when, you know, when the energy is a little too intense in your house, and there's some energies or entities that maybe don't belong on this plane, or maybe they're giving you a little bit of a hard time. I always call on my three homies, which is Jesus, Shiva, Ganesha, and I always call them. I say, hey, help me out, to help me move these energies out of my house or my space or wherever they are. And so that's usually the only time. Oh, well, embracing the moon, I am so glad that you came by. You have a lovely weekend. So yeah, but that's usually the only capacity I've really worked with him, is in that capacity. But now it's like he came in stronger. And okay, so you guys, you know, I kept seeing the images with it, and the images never really connected with me, and I was like, no. But now that it's in my hands, like, actually these are cards I've picked before, but I was like, oh, yes like for sure. Yeah, so, and I picked up, one of the little shops in town called Cost Plus. He was like $5, but yeah, I picked up this cool Lord Ganesha, and he is now on my altar where he should be. And right after I got him, I found a dime on the ground. And maybe dimes don't mean anything to you guys, but for me, whenever there's something spiritual or like a message from the universe or letting me know that I'm on the right path, I always find dimes. Some people find pennies. Mine are always dimes. So I always find dimes on the ground when I know I'm on the right path. So there's a dime that I put that sits right in front of him. Okay. So yeah, so here is the, so yeah, yeah, it seemed like kind of cartoony to me until it's literally in your hands. And I guess that's how it is with all decks. Like, you never really know. Sorry, I'm just looking at your comments down here. You never really know until it's like literally in your hands. So yeah, I've been working with Ganesha, and as you guys know, I like to share my crazy meditations. So I've had a couple of crazy meditations lately, and actually before this live chat started, I was taking a shower, hence why my hair is all wet. And in the shower, I just started, I don't know, I was like crying. It's kind of like weird. But I started feeling the presence of like the people that I've been seeing in my meditations, one of them being Ganesha. Okay, let me back up so I can tell this story. Back the truck up. So, I had this meditation, and in my meditation, because I always meditate before bed, so I'm sitting on my bed cross-legged like I normally am, and I have my tea in my hands, and usually Wally's in my lap, so I have my little Puma in my lap. And I'm surprised he hasn't come over for the live chat today, but he must be passed out from going crazy last night. He's going a little cray-cray last night, but he's in his sun spot over there. So usually he's in my lap. And you know, and I'm grounding, cleared, and then I just like kind of cleared my mind like I normally do, and I just kind of wanted some, you know, kind of peace and quiet type meditation where, you know, I wasn't really trying to work with any particular energy or anything. It was just like, I just need my mind to be still and to be quiet. And so then these energies come in, and one of them I recognize as Santa Muerte, but I don't see her as, and I have the deck right here, like I don't see her as this skeletal figure like I've told you guys before. I see her as this beautiful bohemian woman with, you know, yeah, it is a strong deck. She's got these like beautiful full red lips. She's got like blunt cut bangs, straight hair. She's got like dark hair. She's kind of dressed a little bit Spanish style, I guess. You know, her midriff is showing. She's really beautiful. She's this gorgeous woman, and I see her as Santa Muerte. And so like she came in, and also Capri, the, you know, scarab beetle from Egyptian pantheon, because I do work with a lot of like Egyptian energy, and that's partly I've just like always worked with Egyptian energy, so there's a lot of people in my family. And Osiris showed up. Like, I was like, what up, homie? What are you doing here? You know? And so yeah, Osiris is in the room, and then Ganesha showed up. And I think those were all the people. Oh, and then Horus. Horus also from the Egyptian pantheon. So, but Horus is usually always with me. But it was interesting to see the scarab beetle and to see Osiris, and it's the first time Santa Muerte has been with all of them, and then Ganesha was also in the room. And it's always hard to remember, like, unless I write it down, what they say. But you know, basically it was like, we're here for you. Ganesha's like, you know, I'm clearing the path for you. So, you know, you let us know what you want to do, and we'll help you out with it. And I was like, you know, so I told them, you know, some of things that I really want to do and some of my, you know, my heart's desire. And they said, well, you know, as long as it's, you know, within your path, we don't mind helping you with that. You know, we can't do things for you, they said, but we can definitely make things easier for you to do. So I was like, cool. And then Ganesha was letting me know that, you know, before I, because I really want to switch careers. Not that I don't like teaching, like I still love kids and I would still be a coach and I still love that. But I just want to change like how I help, you know, in the world. And so that's been my focus and my goal. And I said, you know, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. And he says that there's just some more lessons and some things that I have to learn in order to have the skills to do what it is that I want to do. But I was like, but I'm ready now. And he was like, yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. He was like, he says, yeah, he says, just walk through the fire just a little bit more. And he says, and then you'll be set and ready to go, and you'll know when you're there. But he's like, you know, and he says, and I will pave the way for you so that you can get through those lessons faster. He says, just know it's going to be harder. And I was like, okay. So yeah, so it's been a little interesting since that meditation. You know, number one, I got this deck, and it seems like people from my past and things from my past, I saw the Viking Oracle, but I don't know about it, because I really like images, and sometimes when it's just a rune, like I don't know. So yeah, so it seems since that meditation and since I've been working with Ganesha, my past has been showing up. People from my past, schools I used to work at. I think I posted one of those things on Instagram. You know, I went back to a school I hadn't taught at for 7 years, and that was probably a really dark time. Next to my difficult time being a teenager, like that was hard. And so yeah, so these difficult times in my life are coming back, like, hey. And so things have been a bit of a emotional roller coaster for me. But I think I'm coming out a lot stronger. It's not like I'm having a breakdown or anything. I'm a lot more badass than I used to be. So yeah, a lot of past stuff coming up, and I'm not quite sure what that all means. You know, that I have to walk this path before I get to what I want to do. But yeah, so that's interesting. Let's see. And then another deck that showed up. Totes badass. Thank you. You know, it's so funny because as this, so I have to keep readjusting. My lower back's been hurting me lately. I've been trying to do more deadlifts so that I can, like, I don't know, I just figured that maybe there's parts of my lower back that just need more strengthening. But as my past has been coming up, like past schools, past coworkers, past students, past situations, past ways of feeling, all this past stuff coming up, I'm looking at my past self, and you know, and as I, you know, look at the gray hairs on my head, which I always fill them in for you guys. You know, I wish I didn't have to dye my hair, but I guess it's better than having an old face. Rather have old hair. Yeah, if I didn't dye my hair, I literally have a white streak. I have my grandmother's white streak. I'm like, thanks, Grandma. Hashtag love. Yeah, so it's interesting to think about where I was and who I was and how I used to feel and how I used to see the world. And some of it wasn't even that long ago, you know. And it's just like, wow, it all seems so far away. It all, like, my old me seems so far. Like, it was me, but and it's like, I wish I could go back and be like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Why would you act that way? Why would you put yourself in that situation? But I know that if I didn't act that way and I didn't, you know, put myself in certain situations, I wouldn't be who I am now. I understand that. But I don't know. it's just interesting to look back on former you. Just some interesting reflections. So anyway, getting off that serious topic, I also got the Frau Grand Duchess Tarot, and this is off of Etsy. So it's just a simple little box. Oh, what up, Missy? So yeah, maybe it is just that time of year where you start reflecting on the past and, you know, it being transition. Speaking of transition, remember that I said that in my meditation, you know, how Osiris came in? I also pull a card from this deck right here, the Anubis Oracle. And if I'm doing some deep work, this is the deck I pull out. So I don't pull it out very often. And it's not a frivolous deck. Like, I don't just pull it for like a daily card or something like that. Like, that's not how I use this particular deck, just because I've had so many really emotional experiences with it. But I pulled, you know, I said, this is where I want to be in a year. Who from, you know, which Egyptian energy, since that's the energies I work with, will help me month to month. And so this month I pulled Osiris's card. So behind me, right, leaning against that candle up there, that's Osiris. So yeah, after meditating, he's the card I pulled to help me this month. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, the Frau Grand Duchess Tarot. This is the backing, but it reminds me of my Kitsch Lenormand, and I am all about Kitsch decks. So yeah, this is a collage deck, and I dig it, and it's images that I haven't seen go together with particular cards like the Chariot and some of the Queens and things like that. I love the voice of this deck. So if I were to have another tarot homie conversation, it'd be really cool with this deck. So this is definitely a homie of mine. So yeah, this is cool. So definitely, you know, go check this out on Etsy if you're in the deck buying mood. But if not, just like look at the images and be like, ah. So yeah, so this is cool. I've really been digging this, and I think this will be the deck that I use right now. I mean, I'm getting kind of hungry, so I probably need to go have some lunchy. And we have talked about a great many things. So yeah, let's see. There are not that many people in here. So beautiful. That means I could probably pull a card for everybody. So let me finish off my tea. What card had the blue van? Hold on. Blue van. I don't know if I see the blue van. It eludes me. Ooh, this one's cool. The Ten of Swords. I like that one. That's pretty badass. I don't know. I cannot find the blue van at this time. Oh, no, I see it. It's the Hermit. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I missed a base comment. Oh, the lady with the headset. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. Oh, here we got the Hanged Man. It's kind of cool. She's like hanging over all this food. That's how I feel right now. I'm like, I need to go eat. So yeah, let us me take a sip of tea. Okay, and let's go ahead. Oh, this is the Frau Grand Duchess Tarot, and I got this off of Etsy. So Frau Grand Duchess. So I feel like pulling a card for everybody, since I feel like we are at the end of our live chat. I got to ramble on and on about a great many things. and I have made myself so hungry that I need to go have a snack. So if you would like a card pulled, just let me know in the comments here if you just want a general reading or you want something specific. So go, and I will shuffle my cards. We'll be using the Frau Grand Duchess. And having this pop in with us to kind of help out. Let's see. My silicone. Our silicone's gonna be okay. So Wendy and Clean the Hermit, General. Okay, all right. So we got some peoples. Okay, so first person then would be Miss Wendy. So, all right, Wendy Grant, you will be our first general reading. Pulling in the energy of my cool little stones that I got at the San Diego Geological Society. So as like for these, I always like letting you guys know the image that pops into my head when I'm tapping into your guys' energy. So Wendy, for whatever reason, when I was tapping into your energy, I saw a cane or a walking stick. So just FYI. So Wendy, you got the 7 of Cups. And I love the 7 of Cups in here because there's so much going on in this picture that I can literally get a bunch of different meanings off of it. But very interesting, Wendy. Kind of what I'm getting from this, it feels like there's a pressure to make a decision right now. And it doesn't feel like you're quite ready yet. You haven't like you want to know what the whole picture is, what would be the outcome of doing X, Y, and Z. And it seems like there is either you're pressuring yourself or somebody's pressuring you to make this decision right now. But I am feeling like that you do need to take your time making this decision, and tell this person to bugger off, or this feeling that you have to bugger off, because it will behoove you to have waited before making the decision, to find out all the facts first, instead of just doing it because you want to make somebody happy, or like to appease your conscience or whatever it is, conscience. So yeah, let me know if that resonates. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting, that there's some sort of, you need to make this decision right now and you're not comfortable with it. Like even your own gut is telling you no. So yeah, let me know what you get from that. I like the energy coming off these stones. They're making me feel kind of like, woo. I think I need to take a drink of water because I'm like a little woo. These stones are pretty powerful. I don't know if you guys get dizzy when you work with like the energy of stones. Okay, let me see who else in here. Oh wow, Wendy, I'm so glad that resonated. Well, I don't want you to shed any tears. But yeah, so I don't know what this decision is that you have to make, but I think you really have to wait. You know, if your gut's telling you that, you know, to get all your facts first, that's all I'm hearing, is just get all your information first, get all the info first. Don't let this feeling or person bully you into making a decision quicker than you feel comfortable. There you go. Okay, so let me scroll through and see who was after Wendy. Missy wanted general. Okay, all right. So Missy is next. Okay, Missy, so I'm going to tap into your energy and I'm going to see maybe what image pops into my head for you before I pull your card. Okay, so Missy, for you, the image that pops in for me is, you know, like the old school stick slingshot, you know, slingshot. So it's like I see this like kid's toy of like a slingshot for you. Okay, so let's see what Missy's card is. General reading. All right, Missy, we got your card. Okay, Missy, we have the Pope, which is the Hierophant. And let's see, we have a Labrador, we have some, it's like a stock of milk, and I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff going on in here. So let's see what I'm getting with this one. Okay, so Missy, what I'm getting, it's, and it was kind of coming in disjointed, so I'm going to try to put it into words. There's like a particular way of, like doing things, and you don't seem to want to do it the way that things should be done. And I would say take the criticism with like a grain of salt. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just go in here. Oops. Sorry. And anyway, so yeah, so I don't know, so it's like just kind of take it with a grain of salt, like whatever. Sorry, there's my goodness, how do I, well, I don't know how. I'm like trying to figure out how to do we do hide or show? I don't know how on here through the live stream. I don't know how to block people aren't very nice. Yeah, all I see is like chat, like how to hide chat or how to, but I don't see the like, and then there's mute microphone. Yeah, I don't, oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I know, right? Okay, is that better? Okay. Okay. Okay, you guys, is that better? Because I put block on both of them. Better? Are they gone? Well, I'm so sorry that it was probably like teenage boys. They were probably like 12 years old because it didn't seem like they had proper grammar anyway, or how to use foul language in the proper vernacular. Um, so usually when stuff like that pops up, it's usually like a 6-year-old kid. It really is. A 6-year-old kid or a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old, and they just learned how to use bad words for the very first time and all that stuff. So I am so sorry, Missy. That was like right in the middle of your reading, and I guess that just means I made it to the big time that people want to jump in on my chat and like be whatever shitheads. Let's all breathe. This is true. Let us all breathe. I'm going to... Now I know how to block people. Cool, cool. All right, so let me get a drink of water. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, Missy, so, what I was getting with the Hierophant was, you know, there's a particular way of doing things which you don't like doing it that way. You have found a better way of doing something, and if people criticize you, just to take it with a grain of salt. Just like don't, the way you're doing things is just fine, you know, so don't worry about it. Don't second guess yourself. You know, you are on the right track. You are just fine. So hopefully that resonates. And I'm just trying to bring my energy down, like just freaking kids, man. Okay. Who are these people, by the way? Or it's like the same person but using like several different accounts. Okay, let me scroll through, and I think there was somebody else before all the foul language came into play. Okay, it was Missy, and then Elena. Elena, the New Age Lunatic. Okay. Okay. So Elena, you are next, and I will let you know kind of what's popping in, like image for you. Okay, so Elena, the image that I got for you while I was shuffling the cards was a microphone. So I don't know if that makes much sense. Okay. It is a nasty time right now, these people. So you have King of Coins. So Elena, I'm getting that you are kind of at the top of your game right now. And if you were questioning if you were, like, you are doing just fine right now. Like, you are to the nines. You are at the top of the game. So like, you may be wondering, like, you know, have I made all the right decisions? Am I where I'm supposed to be? You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You are at the top. And I don't know why I was thinking of microphone for you, but yeah. So Elena, I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then I think it was New Age Lunatic wanted a general. And then let's see. New Age Lunatic, let's see what image comes in for you. Okay, New Age Lunatic, I am seeing a brown dog. Almost like the Blue's Clues dog, but not blue. Brown. So let's see. New Age Lunatic. Yes. No. that's not your card. This is your card. Ah, Four of Cups. So as I'm looking at these dishes, oh, I'm so glad that makes sense. Good, good. Yeah, so you are right where you're supposed to be. So, like with the, oh, that is your familiar. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So yeah, the Four of Cups of what I'm getting is, you know, like dishes. You see that as like a chore. It's like humdrum. And it kind of feels like right now you're feeling the humdrums. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing for the rest of my life? Is this how things are going to be? Is everything like this? And I think you're at this time kind of giving away your power when you do that. You know, like things are happening to you and this is how it's going to be. And this is just a reminder that you can paint on that canvas of your life whatever it is that you want to make it. So I just see all these like paints and, you know, and you can make it as fun as you want to make it. So yes, some tasks may be humdrum, some jobs may be humdrum, but it's how you perceive it, how you look at it, and what you want to add to it to make it more fun. So if you want to have more excitement or more fun in your life, then you need to be the one that adds the fun and the excitement. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Okay, and then I am gonna scroll through and make sure I didn't miss anybody and have to scroll through all the crap that was in here earlier. So okay, so it was Missy, Elena, New Age Lunatic. I think that was it. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Did I get everybody? Just want to make sure. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I think as I'm scrolling through the comments, and Stephanie. So Stephanie, general or something in particular? Okay. Yes, general. Okay. So Stephanie, let me see what image pops into my head when I'm thinking of you. And Stephanie, I'm thinking of the... I always pick up on your animals. Well, good. I'm glad that resonates. That's awesome. See, this is always confirmation for me too, that I'm at least getting my flow of information right, you know, because I'm just the conduit. I'm just the messenger. So Stephanie, I was getting a hammer for you. So I don't know what that means, but let's... Okay, so we got the Three of Wands. Very interesting. You have the military with the flags and all of this stuff going on. So kind of what I was getting, Stephanie, is that right now you're trying something new and you're looking for the assistance of like friends to kind of help you out. But you're maybe in like with whatever it is, this venture or this thing that you want to do, you're just looking for support, family support, friend support. So people supporting you. So, but mostly I'm thinking of friends, and you're just kind of like wondering if this would like affect friendships or, you know, and if these are, even though maybe they are friends, if you could count on them for this. And I'm kind of getting, you know, you are a person that would just like to kind of do it yourself, but you know, for this situation, you're going to need help doing it. And so this is where you're going to have to put faith in other people to kind of help you out. And the universe is saying, it's fine. You can trust them, you know, even though you're going to be having hesitations, you know, it's okay to put your faith in others. They're not going to disappoint you, is what the the message is. So Stephanie, I hope that resonates. You can put your faith in others. They are not going to disappoint you. It's okay to get help. It's okay to not be able to do it all by yourselves. Good. I'm glad that that resonates. All right. So you are very welcome. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody else. I hate to leave people out. But yeah, what an eventful live chat we've had. We had, let's see, some crazy people on here. We got to talk about a lot of stuff. You guys got your readings. So yeah, all right. I think that's it for me, you spiritual homies. I hope you guys enjoyed this live chat. Even though we had some fun stuff happening and some interesting people in here. I thank you guys for coming in. You guys always brighten my Saturday. I wish you guys all a beautiful Saturday, or if you're in a part of the world. Oh, my Etsy is Kittens Waits Tarot. So, oh yeah, by the way, on my Etsy site, Kittens Waits Tarot, there is 25% off in my shop until December 11th. So you guys only have a few more days if you want to grab like some good readings in there. Ooh, I have the year ahead reading if you guys are interested in that. That's in my shop. A lot of people got some mediumship readings for this weekend, which is pretty cool. I like doing those. So anywho, thank you guys for all showing up. You guys have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are. And peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out, you guys. Yes, I need to go eat.